What if there were three mistakes that's actually killing your growth, preventing you from becoming a bigger school, becoming a bigger academy? And what if by fixing these three mistakes, you could explode in your growth potential? You could increase the amount of revenue that you bring in, you could impact more people in your community. Well, there are actually three things that more than likely is happening inside your school or academy if you're seeing stunted growth. And that's why this video is so important to get you out of that loop and to get you moving forward. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jennifer Waters. I'm one of the co-founders of Seven Figure Dojo, and I've been helping schools and academies for the last 5 years be able to turn their passion into profit. And it all started in our flagship dojo. Back when I was 18, we were going to shut our doors, but we started implementing the seven-figure method. And over the course of the next 4 years, 4 to 5 years, we took that school from a few $1,000s a month to over $1 million a year. Been hitting $1 million years ever since then. This video is for you if you are tired of being stuck, if you want to get unstuck and you want to move forward. So the first mistake that we're going to talk about is the follow-up mistake. I see this one all the time. In fact, sometimes it's blindsides people because they think they're doing what they should be doing based on what they used to do. See, back in the day, and I remember these days because I was a kid growing up inside of my martial arts school that my family ran, it was okay for someone to leave you a voicemail and for you to call them back the next day just because you got too busy. And that person was genuinely interested in classes and would schedule a class and their child would come in or they would come try out the class. We aren't in those days anymore. Our world has exponentially sped up, especially post-COVID. We've seen an increase in the number of activities people are involved in, the number of text messages or phone calls or social media that they're receiving every single day. The world is just busier. So what we have to do is we have to break through the noise and we have to do it as soon as possible. So when you're reaching back out, that lead, you've gathered that lead, you've done what you need to do on the marketing side. In order for you to really take advantage of the fact that you poured all that energy and effort into marketing, we want to make sure we're calling back, texting within the first 5 minutes. This is so crucial, and there's so many studies out there. You can look up all of them that specifically say if you wait outside of that 5-minute window, your chances of actually setting an appointment greatly diminish because people are on to the next thing, especially if you're using Facebook or Instagram ads, social media ads to pull people in. That follow-up has to be instantaneous. Now you might be thinking, well, gosh, Jen, how do I sit there and text every single person back? This is why we need to step forward into leveraging AI technology, into leveraging simple text messaging automations to be able to at least make that first point of contact. Now, I'm a big fan of AI. We actually use this for our clients inside of Seven Figure Dojo. And the reason why we use it is because AI has developed and is developing at such a fast rate that it can actually carry on an intelligent conversation with someone and walk them all the way through the appointment setting process up to the point where they actually walk in the door and they enroll. So imagine we could take all that manual labor off. Well, that's what we do inside of Seven Figure Dojo. And maybe you don't have access to that yet. I'd invite you to have a conversation with us. But in the meantime, if you're still doing this on your own, you got to make sure you're following up with them within those first 5 minutes, or you're really just losing out. Now, the other thing that I also want to walk you through is the second thing that could be a mistake that's actually causing your growth to stunt, and that is your offer. What you have in your marketing, what you have out there for the public could be really confusing. And if it's confusing, it will not create cash flow. Okay, clarity creates cash flow. Confusion kills it. So we have to make sure that we're very clear in order for the cash flow, in order for that new business to come in the door. And when you're putting out an offer, such as a trial offer, like 2 weeks for $39 or 6 weeks for $69 or something like this, what it's doing is it's sending an unclear message about what happens after the 2 weeks or after the 6 weeks or whatever it is that you're doing. Because you have one price that's very, very low, trying to get them in the door. But then you have another price that you're going to try and do a switcheroo on. and you're going to try and get them to purchase at that price point, and the two are not going to match. They're going to go, well, if it's 2 weeks for $39, then it must be 4 weeks for $79 or $80 or $90. Maybe it's in that range. They're already calculating, even if your price might be 2 weeks for $39 and then you charge $150 or $200. You see, you're actually starting a sales process with them in which they can't correlate the value because you've already established the value. You've said 2 weeks is only worth $39. So no one's going to pay or want to pay more than that. Now, they may grudgingly pay that, or you may have to really focus on doing some things like, if you sign up now, we'll waive the registration fee, et cetera, all these different things. And it's a lot harder to do that, in my opinion, than it is to actually increase the amount of value that you're presenting to this person in their first introductory and evaluation lesson. I recommend doing that for free. It's super clear. And so that's why it brings the cash, right? Clarity brings the cash flow. So it's clear message. It's a free lesson, no strings attached. That's going to actually get you more people coming in the door. Now, the third thing that you're going to need in order to drive growth is some numbers that you might think, okay, well, I need to pay attention to these numbers. I need to be paying attention to my conversion percentages. Once I get somebody in the door, I convert at 80%. That's awesome. That's great. Or, I'm making sure that I'm staying within my budget. Well, here's something I want you to do. I want you to use a simple ratio of 7-1. Let's say that you want to enroll 10 students this month. I want you to multiply 10 by 7, and that equals 70. That's your target for leads. If you go out with that in mind and you go, I need 70 leads to get 10 enrollments, you will be surprised how easy it is to get those 10 enrollments because you know in advance, okay, I've got to get this amount of leads in order to produce this amount of results. And we use 7 as an average. I have clients that are crushing it, that are doing 4-1. Some clients, when they first start working with us, they have been doing 15-1. And so we're trying to reduce that down and get an average of 7-1. So for every 7 leads that are generated, 1 needs to be saying yes, 1 needs to be enrolling. And that's what we're trying to get across, or what I'm trying to get across with you today, is instead of focusing on what your enrollment conversion percentage is, let's focus on the front end, which is getting enough leads to actually come in the door so that we can then work on that sales process and get an average result. There's going to be above average, there's going to be below average, but if we aim for the middle, it doesn't matter if you're closing them, if you're enrolling them, if a team member is doing this. 7-1 is the ratio that we want in order for us to crush it, in order for us to hit our goals every single month. All right, listen, if you got a ton of value out of this video, do me a huge favor, drop value in the comments, and do me one more. Invite somebody to our 7 Figures Secrets Facebook group for school and academy owners. Every single week, I'm coming in here, pouring out a ton of value. And I also leave a lot of other resources, a lot of other things that are crucial for the industry to be able to grow. And I do it all for free because I want to see you succeed. All right, stay awesome, and I'll see you next time right here.